Hello everyone, my name is John Michael Bushman and welcome back to Reverse 1999. Before we continue on with our travels through the 7th chapter of the main story, I'm gonna put it out here, right now. After chapter 7, the tone of the story, especially when you go on to the tropical chapter, which is, I believe, the 8th chapter, things get wonky in terms of the timeline. Especially with people who are new to the scene, they're gonna get really confused as to why the tone suddenly jumps from one thing to another. Well, the unfortunate part that I've discovered, at least, in the initial search that I've done, they didn't actually release the story like as is. You need to have gone through some of the events in order to really understand what happens in between the main story chapters. So that's going to be an exploration that I'm gonna have to do once I am done with chapter 7. So we may have to put Reverse 1999 on a small hold as I determine the route that I'm gonna take once we do indeed finish chapter 7. So that's a little PSA out of the way, and with that in mind, let's move on.
We've got signal. Zeno has restored communications with Team Timekeeper.
Very well. We will leave you to it.
She sighs with relief. But before she hangs up, she has one more question.
Just to confirm before we go, the operation Zeno is currently undertaking has been approved by the PAC Security Council, right?
The internal call falls silent, as if the question is too absurd to answer.
Certainly, miss. We are soldiers. Soldiers act on orders.
This is the only part of the island untouched by war, where the foliage is thriving and the view is stunning.
I am most pleased to see you.
Oh boy, the sexy leader villain thing of Manus Vindictae is here. Oh boy.
Had you a pleasant stay on this island, Ms. Vertin?
She turns around, a smile gracing her face.
Are they not an intriguing flock of people?
Jesus Christ, why is she built so hot?
Their wise ones drew a circle at their feet and declared themselves apart from this realm. For generations untold, they toiled as diligent ants in service of the circle, adoring and venerating it while shielding themselves from insanity's call. I take immense pleasure in admiring this wondrous figure, the primordial, eternal, immaculate circle. The more pity that it was etched upon sand.
Below, the bombed-out beach is in a state of disarray.
I disagree. The fragility and impermanence of sand is precisely why people strive for something eternal. Believing in perfection is not a flaw. I noticed the human aircrafts were loaded with weapons, not from this era. Did Manus Vindictae provide them with the technology?
Arcana smiles, the silence confirming the disturbing revelation. So they've been time-hopping. Pretty destructively, I might add.
I can't fathom your motives. If you came here to incite hatred and recruit the pure-blood arcanists on this island, you may now walk away with satisfaction. You wanted to take the island as one of your bases. You could have done so after the cleansing ceremony failed, but you did nothing. You just stood there. Why?
Without rhyme or reason, she laughs.
Do you struggle to comprehend, sweet Vertin? I was waiting for you.
Soneto and Lilia take a step forward.
Enough talk, Vertin. It's time for action.
Mind your distance. Arcana has power over people's minds at a close range.
A pity.
She raises her arm, the stone bangle still intact on her wrist. The next moment, it slides off and falls to the grass, dissolving in the thin air.
I did wish to keep this bangle. Mine and yours. A pair in perfect match.
Are they actually going to confront Arcana here? Like right here, right now?
How will you remove yours, Vertin?
The bangle burns, a reminder of those who still believe in the teachings of the truth and Aperon, and those who remained until the end of the cleansing ceremony. The symbol of fate remains true to its purpose. The peace agreement is still in effect.
What? The island's been blasted to smithereens. How come the bangle still has its power? What is it made of?
Don't worry, Regulus. We have foreseen this.
The chief assistant shows no signs of worry.
When we first arrived, I was bewildered by the rules on this island. But as I learned more about their scriptures, things began to make sense. Language is an unreliable means of communication. Information can become muddled and vague wording can lead to mistakes and contradictions. That's why the island values math as a more precise and truthful language. They mock language for its ambiguity, scorn its flaws, and ruthlessly expose its inconsistencies, like they did during that debate. The pact on this bangle is of a similar nature.
I see. It forbids us from actively attacking, but what is considered an attack? The rulemaker did not specify that.
An act without the intent to attack will not be seen as an attack. That is the unspoken rule of the peace agreement.
An adorable attempt. Are you truly prepared to gamble the life of thy sworn companion, little pup of the Foundation?
I want to be called a little puppy. Behind her, an unidentifiable form materializes into existence. Soneto shakes her head. Her wand remains steady.
I will not make the same mistake again, Miss Arcana.
She still has the poise and politeness to call her miss, even after everything that has happened. Good on you, Sinet.
I know perfectly well what I'm doing. Your provocations will not work on me. For the peace of this world, I will stop you.
The wand radiates an intense brilliance.
Genia sereno intenso ed infinito.
What is this? It has more hands than all the members of a band combined.
Timekeeper, there's a gigantic creature emerging from the portal. We must complete stage 2 as soon as possible.
We better finish it off before we start stage 3.
Copy that.
Calculating the Arabic part.
The dead imp.
Loaded.
Charging.
See how they oscillate.
Cherish life.
Please, take good care of yourself.
The light that illuminates all.
Is this creature changing its afflatus to match that of its attacker?
Ha! A mimic strategy. Clever.
There is no end.
Simulating the Chaldean order.
Loading. Allow me to double check the battery levels.
Sacrifice holds meaning only in its warning. Life is delicate and easily lost.
Decrypt the cosmos.
Barrage.
Trifft die Toten nicht.
Eliminate target.
The ship sways gently in the waves. It is set for a new world, and there's no turning back. She hasn't spoken a word since they sailed. The situation is final and the board is set, and there's nothing for her to do but to stay silent.
Miss Sophia, is the guiding one really not coming with us?
She doesn't answer. Amzid mindedly caressing the tiny idol. She still remembers the moment she received it.
Are you saying?
Fret not, my child. You heard me true. I shall die today.
Timekeeper, location Alpha is ready for the ritual.
Location Beta. Ready.
Mr. Apple and I are ready.
This is not a preparation for an attack. At least, not for an attack here.
Requesting to use the advanced arcane skill Afaroy Around. Number 000262603100008 to teleport a top priority threat to the Parmenides base.
The glow of the ritual envelops Arcana.
Oh?
Loosen up and enjoy the ride. Прощай.
Launch sequence initiated. Starting countdown. 30, 29, 28.
The target has not reached the designated location. I repeat, the target has...
15, 14, 13.
Large-scale arcane ritual detected. Aphroy around, verified. Life signal detected. Target is in position. Initiating detonation.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Vacuum bomb detonated.
No arcane energy detected. No life signal detected. Target eliminated. I repeat, the target has been eliminated.
We did it. We actually did it. Admiral, Hans, we made up for what we didn't do in 99.
Did we win?
It's too early to celebrate, but history will remember this moment and honor all that was lost in this long battle.
Wait, Hans. You hear that? In your headphones?
Everyone can hear it. A grating static.
Admiral, we might have a life signal, but there's too much interference.
Give me that.
The plan was made with little time to spare, and the location was chosen. Wow, that was way too fast. Okay, Admiral Igor, doing his thing, and we'll see him in a later chapter.
It's nothing. There is no sign of life. It was the wind.
Igor really going, yeah, it must have been the wind. Unless...
So, that means...
We did it, everyone.
a triumphant victory! A salute to you, Admiral, and to the Timekeeper.
Our efforts for peace have prevailed, and we have emerged victorious. Let us forever remember this day for its greatness.
Glory to all who fought for this moment! We did it! Whoa! Woo! Yeah!
The observation room erupts in triumph. Arcana has been killed.
A bullet is among us, right under this roof. It serves no army, no country, only peace. The heavy rain at the end of the century dissolved and washed away many of its comrades, but it was lucky enough to survive. Its pointy end still shines silver, ready to drill a hole into its enemy. Sadly, its bulky colleague stole its thunder in this war. One push of the button, one big explosion. There was no need for the rest of the ammunition.
Oh, good. That means we save a lot of bullets.
It seems someone has become more budget conscious after working with the mathematicians.
I mean, we kind of have to.
Saving 10 bullets is better than saving 1. Saving 100 bullets is better than saving 10. It's simple math. But its boss, the general, has more to think about. What are they going to do next time? Will this bullet be put to use when the rain comes again?
Who's the general?
A big shot, dear. A wise man of the most insightful kind. You should talk to him if you have the chance.
Spoiler alert, you meet him in chapter 13.
But he's been in a gloomy mood lately. Be careful not to mention anything related to the conservative battle tactics used in 1999. The missile that would have been launched, and especially anything about the bullets lost in that battle.
Again, we'll all see this in chapter 13.
He has paid a great price for the future. But you see, the future is sneaky. Every time you think you can grasp it, it takes a step away from you, nullifying every effort you've made to get near it. Even a bullet isn't fast enough to catch up.
Then we must keep pursuing.
Pursuing the future. How romantic, dear. As long as we continue to close the gap between us and the future, it will eventually be reduced to 0. But know that as time goes by, we are only moving slower and slower in the race. Technology is regressing, and we have switched from AKs to Mosin Nagants. The bullets won't be as fast as they used to be. The future is drifting away from us, and the past is catching up.
Drink this. It will help relieve your pain. Worry not. It's not made from the grapes on my head.
The war may have ended, but its scars remain in this place. The Hall of Truth, once the Palace of Knowledge, now stands in ruins. 210 examines the injured man's face closely, making sure his pain is eased. Then he stands and watches as more people are brought through the gate.
Hang in there, 29.
888 makes her way into the hall, carrying an incapacitated believer on her back. She carefully lowers the person to the floor. Her own arms are wounded from the attack, but fortunately, they're not fatal. Since the integers awakened, this has been the only thing they've been doing.
Are there any other injured that have not been found yet?
I've scouted the island. Every remaining member should be here.
So you have.
He sighs, the ramifications of the situation weighing down on them.
It means the members not here have joined Manus Vindicte.
The hall is dead silent. Just a few hours ago, it was alive with debates, ideas, and passion. But now, one half of the hall is gone, its seats buried under the shattered dome and crumbling walls.
Is Six still in a coma, Miss Marta?
The blind woman nods, concern etched on her face. The Banshee doesn't say anything else. She needs to clean out her own wounds. The last few hours have been a whirlwind. Their fate has crumbled and the humans have invaded their island. And of course, Manus Vindicte has turned them against each other. But now, everything's gone. Enemies, friends, and even the truth. All that's left are the moans and groans that fill the hall. I mean, yeah, war does that, fortunately. In the midst of the hushed void, someone begins to pray.
To you, O the alone infinite, the non-subsistent, the ineffable, I call. Grant me inspiration of nature. Guide my soul with truth.
These are the words of both sorrow and hope. Words of contemplation and honor for the dead. A brief respite where they can find solace to ease their pain.
Give me power of enlightenment. Tear off from the web of ignorance.
More people join in. Their prayers reverberate throughout the hall.
Redeem me from the evil, hatred, and what throttles me down. Break through the ground of bad, corruption's chain, the carapace of darkness, the living death, sensation's corpse, the tomb I carry. Learn the beauty of truth, the balance and limitations of all.
Enough!
It's 29. The injured believer just carried in by 888. A leg is missing, but he manages to get up and sit down against the wall.
Why are you still praying? The truth is gone! Who are we praying to? Who will answer us?
His outburst falters, turning into a bitter sob.
For generations, we have searched for purpose and meaning, but now that the truth is lost, what is left for us to live for?
No, the truth is still there.
Oh, hey, 37. A crisp voice echoes throughout the hall. She arrives, panting at the door, again, accompanied by members of the Timekeeper's team.
I passed a Perron's test and it showed me the answer. It will free us from the Wheel of Birth once and for all. I just need some time to decode it.
She feels their stares weigh heavily on her. The wounded, the desperate, and those who have lost their faith and their souls in the last few hours. The custodian walks up to her, still composed and steady.
We will do our best to help. But how much time do you need?
Crucial question. The girl averts her eyes. Her confidence has waned since the last time she answered this question.
I have someone in mind that can help us decode faster.
Elsewhere in this world, some people are also making the same efforts at all costs. They too are studying the immunity to the storm.
But I need your approval before I ask them for help.
This will require some finesse. What's about to be asked might rattle the founding principles of their belief system.
May I share the truth with the others, 37?
The experiments on the side effects of the ritual are ongoing. The list of conditions they've encountered stretches down the pages like a long, winding snake.
The side effects are completely random. Among the current samples, the probability of no side effects occurring is 0.52%. And of the 81 recorded side effects, 39 of them will cause irreversible damage to the biological body. 24 will permanently alter the composition of the caster's body functioning, and 18 minor effects will cause only minor, superficial injuries that do not affect daily functioning. Laplace's archives has enough rituals to protect casters from the minor effects, but the other two categories are highly lethal.
The list was made at the cost of lives, and she meticulously analyzes each item as if taking apart an intricate machine.
After 72 experiments, the diversity of side effects has decreased significantly. It is unclear if this is due to repeated testing on a single subject or due to a limited range of possible side effects. More than 90% of these effects are related to concepts such as dirt and dust. Is it because of the origins of this ritual's power?
She stops briefly, scanning through the list again.
The number of recorded side effects is 86, not 81. When did I write these 5 down?
A knock at the door interrupts her thoughts. Simone walks in.
Madam Lucy, Zeno's plan was a success. With the help of Team Timekeeper, the leader of Manus Vindictae was teleported to a deserted military base and targeted with a thermobaric weapon. It was a direct hit with no signs of life detected. The momentous event was captured on camera in the observation room.
The director nods in approval. It's good news, but she can't devote much of her processing power to expressing joy while focused on research.
A tremendous victory. Please extend my congratulations to the Admiral for this remarkable feat.
Also, you have 2 call requests. One is from the Timekeeper, which Laplace received shortly after the battle with Manus Vindictae. She is requesting remote assistance to help the Apiron decode a numerical code related to the storm immunity.
This information demands attention. The director's head snaps up.
Put her through immediately.
Simone nods, but her shoulders remain tense. There's more.
And the other call?
It's Kukanya, the Viennese arcanist who helped investigate Marcus in acquiring the ritual.
A hint of hesitation appears in her eyes.
We have updated her the progress of the study and the potential side effects of the incantation, but she insists on knowing the right pronunciation.
No, we are not aware of that. 37 and I had just entered the cave when the investigator sent back the ritual.
The transmission is weakening. Ms. Radio musters all her strength, struggling to hold on to the fleeting signal in the air.
I see. Thank you for the thorough explanation, Madam Lucy. I'll make sure to inform the members of Apiron.
Is it really possible to remember all those numbers and technical details?
If possible, could you kindly explain this to them again after we set up the communication device?
The lab has never been busier since the day it was built. The scattered files are neatly gathered, and more integers have come to help sort through the years of documents. Ms. Radio is placed next to the IDM with a sense of reverence. The computer screen lights up. A familiar voice comes out of the speakers.
The next thing's the acoustic components. Totally understandable if you don't have any on hand. Regulus, can you help me find some...
What are you saying, mate? Of course, this great disc jockey would have the acoustic components. I'll have you know, I made friends with the dolphins as soon as I had the chance, hoping they'd retrieve some of the radio components from Apple II. And guess what? They actually found some!
She attaches the acoustic component onto the IDM, beaming with excitement.
Hello? Testing, 1, 2, 3.
The screeching feedback forces everyone to cover their ears.
Perfect. You finally have a communicator equipped with a speaker. Before, there were too many ears for one tiny radio.
What now? Another attack?
Not quite. That's the sound of our colleague, Medicine Pocket. Hard at work.
Finally, a real communicator for Team Timekeeper. X gets up, skirts around Medicine Pocket's mess on the floor, and casually makes himself a cappuccino.
How goes it on your end, Verton? The storm is only 8 hours away. Has the immunity zone on the island stopped shrinking?
I think so. No one in the Hall of Apirons affected by the storm syndrome so far. The immunity zone seems stable for now. Manus Vindictae and the humans have left. There should be no further destruction on the island.
So the decay of the immunity zone is not linear. It seems to be influenced by the islanders' mindset toward the truth, and it eventually reaches a stopping point.
He puts down the cup and thinks about everything he heard from the call.
Could it be that the ritual on this island, rooted in the power of faith and belief, serves to amplify only the radius of the storm immunity? Fascinating.
That can wait, Researcher X.
Ulrich, impatient as ever, interrupts his musings with a more important concern. There are still pressing matters to discuss with the Timekeeper through the device.
There's one thing I'd like to confirm, Timekeeper. About the question Miss 37 asked in the cave. How can we escape the darkness of the phenomenal world and be freed from the emanation forever? To my understanding, that is almost the same as asking how we can be immune to the storm.
Yes, and 37 also said the transcendental truth was beyond the limits of her mortal flesh. A Piran answered her with an eerie sound, one that could drive anyone mad just by hearing it. It was then that the Scroll 6 gave her unfurled and transcribed the sound into a string of numbers, providing us with the code.
Yes, that's the key to our problem. We both received a solution to the same question simultaneously. Immunity against the storm. This could be our Rosetta Stone, Timekeeper. We found our own Rosetta Stone!
His voice rises in excitement as he becomes fully immersed in his thoughts. Meanwhile, his listener's mind is starting to wander with a big question mark in the air.
Rosetta Stone.
Allow me to explain.
The director interjects with a well-timed explanation.
The Rosetta Stone is a stone tablet inscribed with a decree in 3 different languages: hieroglyphs, Demotic, and Ancient Greek. Hieroglyphs were the sacred writing for the divine, while Demotic script was known as the language of the people. Both scripts were ancient Egyptian, lost to time when the tablet was discovered. However, because scholars were still able to read Ancient Greek, and through comparing the 3 inscriptions that all said the same thing, they were finally able to understand the hieroglyphs. And now, we too have our own set of inscriptions to decode. The first is similar to hieroglyphs, as the truth Miss 37 heard in the cave is completely unintelligible and can drive people insane just by listening to it. The second is like Demotic script, a ritual we obtain from arcana that can place a curse upon those who read it aloud. It cannot be handled by ordinary people. Finally, the numerical code you shared with us is like the readable Ancient Greek, without any divine powers, but crucial in deciphering the other 2 inscriptions.
How intriguing!
37's voice chimed in over the line, clearly excited by the analogy.
That is to say, if we work together and combine our research, we may unlock even deeper knowledge that only belongs to the divine?
Oh, yes, baby. Yes, we will get it, baby.
Exactly. We're looking for the same answer to the same question, like how the same decree is inscribed onto the tablet in different forms. And just like the inscriptions on the tablet, we have 3 versions of the ritual. If we can delve into the essence of the ritual and master its inner workings, we may eventually transcribe it into a side-effect-free ritual that can be used by everyone.
Yes, it should work, because the nature of the universe flows in all things alike.
I'm glad you think so, Miss 37.
The girl on the other end of the phone is equally ecstatic. There's no question that they're in sync on this incredible idea. The ferrofluid happily swirls around in its fishbowl. Regrettably, his boss is a practical thinker.
Your hypothesis is based on too many assumptions, Ulrich. It requires further refinement and confirmation. We now have valid incantations. We should continue in this direction.
Her words are like a bucket of ice water dumped over their heads. Hey, that's a reference and a half. As always, the robot steers them to a more practical path.
You mentioned the word transcribe, just like the Timekeeper did. It holds the answer to improving the ritual.
You mean?
The scroll you mentioned that can bridge the gap between you and the Supreme Existence during communion. It is the scroll that transcribed the eerie sound and saved 37 from the lethal side effects. Does this mean it could potentially lessen the negative effects of the immunity incantation?
Everyone in the lab realizes it at once. Reducing the side effects is faster than trying to come up with a perfect, side effect-free incantation from scratch. Now the solution is right in front of them, the scroll that can solve Arcanum with Arcanum.
Wait, Madam Lucy. Let me take it from here.
We would like to borrow this scroll for research. If you lend us this scroll, we will make significant advancements on the research, and we promise to provide every assistance you require in the future.
The ferrofluid flinches into the shape of a droplet of sweat. It was too late to stop her. The atmosphere on the other end of the call changes dramatically.
Lend you the scroll?
The custodian leaps up from her corner in disbelief.
Are you asking us to give the legacy of Epiron, our most cherished possession, to you? A scientific research organization that serves humans?
The lab falls silent, reflecting the seriousness of the request. For a school of thought that has always kept its knowledge hidden, this is a major threat to its core beliefs and sacred vows. But the silence is broken again by that cheery voice. The voice that always questions and doubts.
Why not? We are seekers of truth, are we not?
Correct.
Heed my words, 37. That scroll is a sacred relic passed down from the wise sages of Epiron, safeguarded by the Sixes, and entrusted only to believers who brave Epiron's test. It has the power of harmonization and reconciliation. You may keep it until you fully grasped the secrets shared with you by Epiron. But you will not share it with some organization affiliated with humans, and certainly do not allow them to study it.
The inevitable disagreement is finally upon them. 888 grabs 37 by the arm and drags her out of the lab.
Why? Sharing this scroll is sharing wisdom and knowledge with others. Like what we have done through our doctrinal meetings and receiving visitors from the outside world. It is for the sake of spreading the light of truth, is it not? The human researchers, they have also discovered many brilliant theorems. Before the emanation cut us off, we had these types of communications with the outside world. It was fun, unlike what came after. I'm sure by sharing this scroll, the code from Aperon will be deciphered. I must prove that the light of truth still glimmers.
She stands her ground. She is right. With their fate shattered, people need something new to keep them going. And this time, her suggestion makes sense in a practical way, a quality often missing from her previous ideas. With the island no longer shielding them, the school must find another way to survive the emanation. In their moment of weakness, they need a powerful ally more than ever.
But how can you be sure the scroll will only be used for researching the ritual? How can you ensure that the humans won't exploit it to create weapons of destruction?
The custodian looks up at the fractured dome. The speckled daylight illuminates her cool complexion.
Before joining the School of Epiron, my people and I had wandered the world for ages. Our long lives made it difficult for us to truly fit in with the world. Daughter of Truth, I implore you to hear the words of this old soul. Humans have indeed achieved incredible feats, and their enlightenment has even touched my soul. But unfortunately, most humans do not have an inherent respect for knowledge or its boundaries. They only chase after power blindly. I have experienced it firsthand. I tried to guide and persuade them, but ultimately I failed. That is why I am here now. What you are deciding to share is not only knowledge, but it is a ritual. A piece of power. A ritual designed for harmonization, created for the devout believers, and created for the sages seeking the truth. Yet, on the other hand, it can also be used for unspeakable horrors, such as silencers on guns, suppressors on rifles, or even on nuclear bombs.
It won't. 888. I won't let this happen. I promise.
You can't promise anything, Miss Verton. You're too young, too inexperienced to comprehend the dark nature of history.
Valid and powerful observation. The hall itself, ravaged by war, now stands as a testament to the Banshee's claim. Even 37 is speechless.
But it's the truth we're talking about. What could possibly outweigh the truth?
An unexpected voice speaks up. To everyone's surprise, the rhetorician does not raise any objections this time.
If all it takes is lending someone a scroll to unlock unspeakable secrets, why not do it? Haven't the failures of the past 4 years proven that a stagnant mindset does not bring forth the light of truth? As individuals devoted to critical thinking, should the pursuit of truth not be our primary goal in life?
You know, I had my doubts about 210, early on in the chapter. I thought he was the Manus Mole, but no, apparently he's just a really critical guy. He's pretty much like 37, except he's way more serious about his critiques and doubts compared to 37's more playful side of doing things.
My brothers and sisters, do not let hatred stop you. And don't let the dust of the phenomenal world blind you.
He waves his hand and gets up from his seat.
And remember, it was 37 who passed the test and earned the scroll. It is her rightful responsibility to handle this situation.
He looks elsewhere, his demeanor suggesting a lack of interest, rather than genuine support for the argument.
Otherwise, what other choice do we have?
He shrugs and walks out of the hall. Behind him, the Star of Hermes clenches her fist with resolve. To the murmuring, doubting crowd, she speaks again, loud and clear.
I have made up my mind. I will share the scroll with Laplace. We will decipher the code together. The truth is the truth. It should not be swayed by anything else. Please, everyone, cast your pebble if you agree with me. If Six were here, he too would have called for a vote.
Some of them decide to leave the hall instead, but most stay and use the pebbles in their hands to speak for them. Her victory arrives with a gentle sigh from the corner. War and smoke have long left this place. An area has been cleared for takeoff.
Miss Lilia, are you certain about this?
Absolutely. See the nice weather today? Much better than the day we landed. No wind, no cloud, the clear sky, and that giant moon.
Sitting tight on her vehicle, I'm guessing that's a vehicle, she gives a quick pat to the scroll secured on her belt. This is the essence of Aperon's goodwill in their newfound alliance with Laplace.
Can't find a better day to deliver the package. It's just to the headquarters, not even going outside of Europe. 3 hours is more than enough. I'm done being stuck on this suffocating island. Nobody can stop me from taking this flight.
The headquarters are at least 768 nautical miles away, and you have no protection during the long flight. It's dangerous, and we have only 7 hours until the storm.
Dangerous? Maybe. But this is an exhilarating flight in the storm, Saneto. What better chance than now to push Zeno into updating their flying manual?
She takes a few long gulps from her canteen and warms up her broomstick, brimming with anticipation as if she were going to a carnival.
Besides, what's wrong with a bit of oil painting on me? Should be a nice badge of honor.
Jesus Christ, Lilia, we don't want to lose you in a time like this.
Mate, that's quite a distance. Just be sure not to go toppling into the Mediterranean Sea.
Red 38 is no way an apple the second.
She soars higher and higher until Regulus shrinks into a tiny dot on the beach.
Yes, Miss Tyder has derived the formula and my team has finished designing the prototype converter. Now, we just need the bigwigs upstairs to approve the experiment application. This is an unprecedented chance to rob the storm of its energy. I wouldn't miss this for anything.
The Scroll of Aperon has shown great potential in protecting casters from the ritual. It is expected to outperform the Coleman protection rituals. The sheer variety of side effects is concerning, but we already have a list of 122 curses and their effects. Once the scroll arrives, we will test and record its reactions to each of the effects. This should speed up our analysis considerably.
How can we get humans to make use of this ritual?
He stands up and paces around the cluttered room.
Ideally, the incantation is made into a tool like the Manus Mask or Laplace's incantation soft disk. However, this would require a thorough analysis and mastery of the ritual. Manus Vindicte could create the mask because Arcana is just that excellent of a caster. But we don't have that kind of excellence all the time. That's why I came up with a clever alternative, to let everyone be a caster instead. The problem is, humans can't cast it all to begin with. Ugh.
Logic is failing to produce the desired breakthroughs. Enigma sits back down at the table, holding his head in despair.
Is there nothing else we can do?
So, this is the plan of the imaginary numbers. You want to use the waves of Numa and the reconciliation of the scroll to allow everyone to recite the storm immunity ritual?
37 ponders with great interest, as if it were just another game. The collaboration with Laplace is going well. They have just shared all their information on the subject.
Yes. What do you think, 37?
An ugly plan it is. There is no grace or beauty in this approach. It is purely driven by practicality and uses clever tactics to make things fit. How typical of imaginary numbers.
What? It sounds pretty cool to me. Taking advantage of the storm? It's about time we plundered it instead.
It really looks like we should throw this plan into the sea.
37 insists, subtly shifting her seat away from Regulus. Yeah, the two kids are fighting again.
You're not trying to comprehend the ritual, Vertin. but scrambling to make use of it before the emanation arrives.
Isn't making use of it enough for our purposes?
No, the theory is incomplete. You will be hindered by impossible obstacles in no time. Mister, could you show me the incantation? I want to see it too.
She glances at the device, hoping for an answer, but the other end of the call has been silent for a while.
Laplace is looking for a safe method to deliver the incantation. Given the incidents before, some time is required for the application procedure. Once received, please do not read it out by any means. The side effects are extremely deadly.
The chief assistant explains to her reassuringly. Finally, someone speaks again.
Apologies. We took some time to test the delivery methods. For your safety, only the text of the incantation will be delivered. The exact pronunciation will be sent to the Timekeeper later.
Thanks, mate.
Since the island has no visual communication, we will send the incantation letter by letter through a Chladni plate, a technique that converts simple patterns to sound waves. Enough with the mumbo-jumbo! There's no time for details.
Annoyed, he interrupts his rambling and gets straight to the point.
Anyway, Timekeeper, we'll need the help of that lady. Miss Radio, right?
Flattered, the blue flower on Miss Radio perks up. No ordinary signal could reach this island. Since their arrival, she's been diligently managing their communications. As a result, she was somewhat reduced to being just a radio.
Yes. Somebody please find her a metal square plate, fix it on a sturdy base, and pour sand on it.
Senator and Regulus get to work immediately. Fortunately, there's no shortage of metals and sand on the island. A makeshift receiving station is quickly built.
Now, a special recording will be sent to you. Please stay by the edge of the plate, embrace the sound, and... groove along.
I assume you mean vibrate?
No, that's just rude. But, yes, exactly.
He stammers.
If all goes well, the vibrations will move the sand and visualize the text in a pattern. We have 12 recordings ready, each representing a letter in the incantation. We'll play the first one when you're ready.
Oh, of course, my pleasure.
She trembles with excitement, ready to give her all for this important task. As she grooves with the signal, a pattern begins to form on the plate.
First one's done, Mr. Ulrich.
All right, 11 to go.
The transmission continues as planned, each letter falling into place like pieces of a puzzle. Until finally, the last letter is recorded on the page.
This incantation.
The sight is hard to believe. How can this be?
What? Are you reading it in your head? Oh, don't tell me even thinking about it can trigger the curse.
No, it's just, I can read this language.
La Unua Circlo. The language is not unfamiliar. The incantation for unlocking the suitcase is inscribed in the same tongue. The questions are, who taught this and when? Was it on the eve of the new millennium, when everything was a blank? Was it her mom? A myriad of thoughts flood the mind.
37. I think I know what it says. It means the first circle.
The researchers on the receiving end quickly grasp the message.
The first circle. That's what the incantation says?
He suddenly remembers a detail that has eluded him all along.
That's it. The investigator in Vienna reported a similar thing. An ancient miracle, a circle of salvation. Arcana even drew a circle in the air while saying it. She did it so nonchalantly, as if it were a meaningless gesture. We didn't think much of it at the time. Once we confirmed that it did not affect the casting of the incantation, we forgot about it and moved on. I can't believe I overlooked it.
The hot-tempered cryptography lead slams the table and buries his face into his hands, clearly exasperated.
This is not your fault, Ulrich. The gesture was overlooked because it did not really help the research. Our focus was on practical application rather than understanding the incantation itself. If the incantation means the first circle...
The pragmatist's voice is still serene.
How will this be helpful to the research?
I see! I understand now!
A moment of epiphany. She snatches a handful of papers, sprawls out on the floor, and scribbles frenetically.
Well, Vertin, I don't know why you can read it, but I do know that Gal is thrilled by your interpretation. Because you mentioned her favorite shape, the circle.
The irrational number is spot on. 37 has drifted into a world of her own.
Yes. The essence of the incantation is a circle. What kind of circle is it? In topology, any closed curve on a plane can be classified as a circle.
Aha! Told you!
Regulus spreads her hands, speechless. She takes a step back, giving 37 more room to calculate. Everyone is talking quietly so as not to disturb her. Even Miss Radio has lowered her volume. Just as her sheets are about to engulf the entire floor, she finally stands up.
Look, Vertin, let's go back to the Rosetta Stone hypothesis. Based on the hypothesis, if the incantation and the numerical code share a common essence, which is the key to the storm immunity, and we now know the incantation refers to a circle,
then the essence of this numerical code should also be a circle, right?
37 nods.
Yes. Before this conversation, I had no idea which direction to take. The numerical code could be a snippet of an incantation, or it could be a geometrical ritual array. I had a lot of theories to go on, but testing them could take weeks or even months. Worse yet, if my line of thinking was completely wrong, we could waste decades of time and effort. But the Rosetta Stone hypothesis is easy to verify. Let us suppose that the incantation and numerical code share a similar essence. We know that the incantation does work as proven by the Awakened. If the incantation is a circle, then the numerical code should also be circular in nature and has the same effect as the incantation, which is a circle that saves people from the emanation and can also be experimented with by the Awakened.
If the experiment works, then the hypothesis is true. And vice versa. I see what you mean here. It really is an easily provable hypothesis.
To my ears, you're just trying to prove that the code means a circle. Because you're really into circles.
Not specifically. I simply like it because it's a great shape.
But I don't understand. +1, -1, +2, -3, 3, -3, +2, -1, +1. How do these numbers relate to the circle?
The first circle.
Enigma narrows his brows, spinning a pen between his fingers. His drafts are scattered across his desk, each of them a dead end.
Yes, it was the Timekeeper who translated the incantation. And according to the investigator in Vienna, Arcana also drew a circle when she cast the ritual. But experiments have shown that the gesture has no effect on the ritual. We thought maybe it was a symbolic gesture.
No. It is no way just symbolic.
He jumps to his feet. The cryptographer sneezes at the cloud of dust he just stirred up.
Arcanists excel at condensing their experiences into symbolic representations. Signs, totems, elements, these are primitive symbols, and some are sources of power for Arcanum. At least that's what the Foundation's textbooks tell me. That's why arcane skills can only be enhanced by mediums that align with their symbolic nature. Precise materials are required when creating soft discs for each incantation.
He stops spinning his pen.
If the incantation symbolizes the first circle, and if we were to create a physical form that could be mass-produced for everyone, will that form have to be a circle too?
In the cave, discussions and theories about the circle are also in full swing. Every inch of the floor is now covered with paper. On each sheet is a differently drawn circle. Some are spheres, and some have crossings, and some are in distorted forms. Just as the sea of papers is about to drown everyone in the room, she finally stands up.
Oh, I should have thought of this. The simplest things often hold the deepest meaning, as always. So, the first circle, what could it be? A wheel? A piece of rope? A pendulum?
37 shakes her head and kicks away some paper balls at her feet.
I spent too long on the wheel and the bearing, not realizing there was something more promising. A circle can also be seen as a knot with no crossings. An unknot. This could be a variation of a closed curve. A knot. Knots were how the ancients of the Incas and Chinese collected data and kept records.
Oh, wow. I did not think of it that way. Okay. You learn. See, this is why I've said it once and I'll say it again. You will learn as you play this game because there is so much research done by the developers for this game, and all of the information that they use here has basis in actual factual historical texts.
But which knot is it exactly?
37 extends her hand. Intricate geometric shapes take form in the radiance of her arcane light.
The Jones polynomial of the trefoil knot is t plus t cubed minus t to the power of 4. The figure 8 knot is t to the power of -2 minus t to the power of -1 plus 1 minus t plus t squared. While the cinquefoil knot, t squared plus t to the power of 4 minus t to the power of 5 plus t to the power of 6 minus t to the power of 7. I could go on all day. There are 165 different knots with 10 crossings, 9,988 knots with 13 crossings. But which knot is the code referring to? +1, -1, +2, -3, +3, -3, +2, -1, +1? Of course. Of course I would hear these digits instead of anything else. The scroll transcribes the truth into a format I can understand. So it must be based on a mathematical system I already know. I have all the knowledge needed to break the code. Just need to follow my instincts and pick a system. And the Jones polynomial is the first thing I could think of.
Struck by an idea, she drops to her knees and starts calculating again on the floor.
Right. The second 3 I heard sounded different from the other 3s. That 3 must be the constant term of the polynomial. Then if we use this 3 as the origin, like a number axis, the left side is the coefficient for the negative exponents, and the right side is the coefficients for the positive exponents. Eureka! This string of coefficients is the shorthand of a Jones polynomial. If we assign the 8 coefficients to the 8 corresponding exponents in a Jones polynomial, we get its true form. T to the power of -4 minus t to the power of -3 plus 2t to the power of -2 minus 3 times t to the power of -1 plus 3 minus 3t plus 2t squared minus t cubed plus t to the power of 4. A knot with 8 crossings!
She looks up, her bright aquamarine eyes shine with delight. A golden knot projects from her fingertips.
Seaverton, Apiron did give us the answer. The key we've been looking for, the most profound secret, the language of the divine. No sound or text is needed, just pure structure, the very form of the essence itself. It is a beautiful shape, a simple knot.
A knot? Great. Now there is only one step left. The verification.
She nods and looks at the communicator.
Did you hear that, Madam Lucy? Can you help us verify the authenticity of this knot?
After an unsettling silence, Ms. Radio finally remembers that she has turned down the volume. When she turns it back on, Lucy's voice comes through clearly over the channel.
Of course. I have paid close attention to the discussion. This polynomial produces a single unique knot. We can now tie a knot to test it.
The call goes silent again. The cave is silent too, as if any noise would alter the outcome. Even Regulus has turned off her personal speakers. In the quiet hush, Ms. Radio cranks up her volume once more, but all they hear is a sharp hiss of static, and a soft, strange rustling. 20 minutes have passed.
Madam Lucy?
The only sound is a constant static, accompanied by a faint, scratchy reverberation.
The signal dropping. Madam Lucy, can you hear us?
I can.
The robot utters with effort. The knot slips from her grip and falls. It has completed its great mission. Then the robot starts to fall apart and melt. Before the curse could get to her core, the fire thief flashes a smile. She needs to ensure the next message is clear on the radio.
It worked.
And we are gonna cut it here. And I'm actually gonna cut this video up into 2 segments because, good God, this was an extremely intense ending to the chapter. Good God, chapter 7 is so fucking loaded. Holy shit. But it feels like the end of one large saga. You know, the first 7 chapters of this gacha game. And yes, I forgot that this was a gacha game. It's storytelling that you very rarely see in a gacha game, and I'm honestly very spoiled now, thanks to this game. So I'm gonna cut this video up into 2 parts. Hell, I'm even gonna put this like ending slide across both parts, because good god, I have been recording for probably a grand total of what, 3-4 hours now, just to get this ending done in one sitting, because it's that damn good. So yeah, we're gonna cut it here, and oh boy, I'm not gonna say too much. This entire like slide here, the progress of the storm immunity project, this should explain everything that happened in chapter 7, just pictures alone. But it's not gonna give you any important details, of course. You're gonna have to tune into my videos to find that one out. So we're gonna cut it here, and if you like what you saw, you want to see more, hit like, comment, subscribe, and share this among your friends. And until next time, toodles.